You're listening to a Canadian Movie Crew production.
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct, including us.
I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky.
Is time go?
I think you mean go time, pal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Film Studies. I'm Derek, and I review movie question.
And I'm Mark, and I review movies statement.
Today we're taking a look at Project Hail Mary. For the second show in a row, we have guests. Welcome back to the show, Gaspar.
Hey, what's up, man?
And from the 70s versus the 80s podcast, we have Wolfman Mike.
How you doing?
There you go.
Yeah, Mike on the mic. I love it. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you joining us on this Film Studies tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Oh, yeah. Now, Gas, you are a big fan of the novel in which this was based.
I am, actually. This was, it quickly became one of my favorite books of all time. Up there with, I'm a big fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the Douglas Adams series. And this is right up there with it. It was such a good book.
I assume.
What was that?
The Martian, I assume.
I actually didn't read The Martian.
Oh, really?
I read The Martian.
I have seen it, but I did not read The Martian. So this was a book that my wife was like, you have to read this book. And so I succumbed to the pressure, and she was right. I needed to read this book.
So as Mike and Gaspar, you've read between the two of you, read both novels. Is this a trilogy? Are we going to get a third person stuck in space by themselves for some reason?
So
I was like, a different reason.
From what I understand, they're trying to greenlight a sequel, but they should not do that. This is a standalone story. There doesn't need to.
A sequel? How do you make a sequel out of this one?
I don't know, and it would really ruin it. So I really hope it doesn't.
There's somebody pitching a sequel to Titanic. They can make a sequel out of anything.
But. There is a sequel to Titanic, actually.
Is there?
Yes.
What is the sequel to Titanic about?
I have no idea.
They hunt down the iceberg. This time it's personal. You know. It's like Rose's mom goes to Jamaica, and then there's the iceberg coming for her, and you know,
follows him.
Titanic, the revenge.
The revenge, yeah exactly. Yeah.
Jack comes back as a ghost and is like, "Hey, there was room for me on that piece of wood."
Scoot over.
Scoot over, man.
Yeah.
So we're taking a look at Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling and pretty much no one else.
And CGI yeah.
I'm going to assume that we don't need to go through this movie scene by scene, considering it's already made $80 million and 164 worldwide. Or just domestically, 164 domestically.
To be honest, in this market, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
These days, with rising theater prices, increased streaming at home, stuff getting to home theaters quicker. I mean, that's a good take. Hopefully they make their money back.
Right now, it's the number one movie in 2026, beating out Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Nice.
Well, that came out a while ago, though. So
yeah. So. But before we get there, is there anything anyone has watched recently? We'll do a little bit of catch up. I'll tell you right this. I watched a movie called Whistle, where a teenager finds an Aztec death whistle, and if you blow the whistle, death comes to kill. It's not good.
Let's just say, is that based on a true story? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. They wish.
It was found footage from the ancient Aztec times. Yes, it was.
Mark, it actually stars the girl that played the young girl in Logan.
Daphne Keane.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
But she's no more charismatic in this one, so...
I'm willing to bet that not only has Kevin seen Whistle, he owns a copy of that movie.
I don't think it's left theaters yet, but yeah. I have acquired some other ones that I haven't watched yet. Cold Storage, How to Make a Killing, which looks interesting. Send Help and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. So I'm hopefully getting to those. Oh, and Gaspar, you can tell Kevin we took his advice, and an upcoming episode of Or Is It he might be interested in.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 I feel the same way when Kevin invites me to watch movies.
It's balloon related. Let's put it that way.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Pop Culture Yearbook guys that if you check out our podcast with them, is it out yet? I can't remember. Is that one out yet? No, we're not quite yet.
Early April.
By the time the Masters comes out, or by the time the Masters start, right? We'll have had
the week before the Masters tournament. Yeah,
that's right. We'll have their suggestion, which we thank them too. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's neither here nor there. Anybody's Gaspar, you said you were watching a
so
My Little Pony, no?
He's a brony.
So haven't really got a chance to see many movies, but my wife and I are watching the show Ponies, which is on Peacock. And Ponies is PONIS, which stands for Persons of No Interest. Basically takes place in the 70s in Russia. It's Cold War, spy stuff. And the premise would sound a little corny if just on its face is these two secretaries who were married to, U.S. spies who die and they wind up becoming, spies for the U.S. government in Russia. But it's really executed well, where like the show doesn't take itself too seriously, but does a really good job of making it kind of believable, believe it or not. I highly recommend it. It's pretty well done.
Okay.
Starfleet Academy, I think I brought up in an earlier show. I was partway through. That series has finished season 1, and now there's some sort of weird, like they got greenlit for a season 2, and then apparently that's been canceled now. It's very weird. What's kind of almost as interesting as the story itself is what seems to be happening outside of the story. A mutual friend of ours posted on Facebook an ad that he found looking for writers who hate Starfleet Academy because they want to start negatively bombing it. But like you have 2 qualifications: 1, you're a writer; 2, you hate Starfleet Academy. Apply for your job now. Contact our HR at such and such and whatever.
If you're just writing something on the internet, you don't need to be a good writer.
Right. And I mean, why would you write about something you like? Right? When the hate gets all the more attention. So why would they want people who like Starfleet Academy, right? They want to make sure they rally the haters.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that maybe going on, and it's just so they got greenlit for season 2 before season 1 finished airing. Allegedly started filming it because these are kids, so they don't want them to be, we don't want a James Vanderbeek situation where they're all 35 and 2 of them are pregnant and on their 2nd or 3rd kid, and they're still playing high schoolers. Actually,
these days that's not a qualifier.
I know. Actually, they could CGI the babies out, I'm sure. But anyway, point being, it was good. I can see why there's a little pushback on some of the things that they focused on, but I don't know. Overall, like they got Paul Giamatti in there as one of their villains. He's fantastic. Just him just going off was just fun to watch. He would just blah 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 blah. Like, oh yeah, he'd get his villain rants like 2 or 3 times. He every time he was on screen, and it's not every episode. So like one episode he's on rant, and then you might take a few episodes off, and then comes back rant, and it's you have fun every time. So anyway, I don't know if it's worth checking out now, because maybe wait to see if there's going to be a season 2. If you're a hardcore Trekkie, you've already seen it, but for the casual observer, I don't know if there's anything here to pick up now. Right. So, we'll see.
All right. The only thing, I just got a quick one. The only thing I've been watching, I saw the movie Fall. I know it's like 3 or 4 years old, but it just moved over to Netflix like a couple weeks ago, I think. And it's, so I was watching it, and it's, I don't know if you know the story, but 2 girls climb to the top of a radio tower. And so 20 minutes into the movie, they climb to the top of the radio tower, and they get stuck there, and you're like, wow, we still got an hour and 10 minutes left of the movie.
No. Oh, you check the clock.
It's like, and then hilarity doesn't ensue, but it's a pretty good movie. That's my favorite, Man Against Nature or Women Against Nature, I guess, in this situation. But
Is a cell tower?
it's a cell tower they climb up, and it's like the fifth tallest structure in America. But it's
Ironically, no signal.
I was
No
just going to
signal.
say,
Yeah,
you know what? I was going
a big
the other way.
plot point. That was a big plot point. Is they had no cell signal in the whole movie.
I was going to say, do they figure out after an hour and 5 minutes that they could have called for help at any time because they were right in the middle of where the signal should be?
Well, they got like
Just tap on the top of it.
they're charging their phones, plugging into like a bare wire on the tower. That's
Wow.
Yeah.
Still sounds
And
better than that thing that Kevin recommended.
It
And
probably
it's
is.
called Fall, so like you kind of know how
It's
it
kind of
ends.
a
I would
promise,
assume.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If they just climb back down, I'm like, what?
Right. Then
Yeah,
it should
much-
just be called Climb.
Climb,
It'd be
yeah.
much less. Yeah, much more boring movie. Yeah.
I'll see how you get stuck up there, but anyway, I'm sure it explains itself. I have seen the trailer to it. I just never saw it.
Yeah, it's probably worth watching actually if you're in the background. But
Okay. Okay, so we're taking a look at Project Hail Mary. Now, Gaspar and Mike, you guys have read the books. We'll get your opinions on that as we go.
Mhm.
Spoiler-free thoughts. Mark, what'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. Excuse me. I had, a good time at the movies. It does have the same charm as The Martian. It feels like this could have been, excuse me, a TV series. Just guys getting stuck in space.
For sure.
Guys getting stuck in space and the rocks who love them. Anyway,
It's a rocky relationship, yeah.
it certainly was. Yeah. I mean, but it had a solid base, but,
But ironically, nothing set in stone. Oh,
It's interesting that you bring
where's
up
my rim shot?
it would make a good TV series because that was something me and my wife were discussing, how like one of the things you miss from the book is what happens with the building of the language, which we'll get to talk about. Like that's
admittedly, yeah.
stretched out so much more in the book, and it's probably one of the most fun parts of the whole story. And so you can't do that in a movie. Like it's understandable why they kind of speed that up, but it would be kind of fun to see that done over a series, I think.
Like, yeah, you would have a whole episode, like just on that if you could, because it's completely different languages for both of them. But anyway, so spoiler-free thoughts. I really enjoyed it.
All right, Gaspar?
I thought it was great. I mean, I really wanted to see them stick the landing on this because it was such a great book. And I think they did a really good job. I mean, it's almost note for note, the book. I mean, outside of needing to move the pacing along, but they did a great job with it, I think.
Okay, Mike?
yeah, so me and Gaspar are going to be those jerks this whole podcast. We're going to be like in the book. But I read the book. I love the book. I saw the movie. I love the movie, and I'm boring myself with this answer, but I think the book did a really good job at being a book, and I think the movie did a really good job at being the movie. And I don't see anybody who's read the book and watched the movie. Nobody's really complaining about it at all, which is really a testament to what a good job they did. So, yeah, I loved them both. I thought the movie was excellent. More emotion,
kind of the opposite.
emotion than the book. The book's a lot of. Like I read The Martian too, and that's a lot of logistics. Like we got to fit this thing in this hole. We have, I have to not run out of food. It's all logistics, and so the movie couldn't show all that many logistics. But I think the movie had more emotion, so it was really great.
So kind of the opposite of 50 Shades of Grey, where it was an awful book and movie, apparently.
It was a terrible job of being a book and a fucking terrible job of being four movies.
But if there are any lady listeners, Mark's single, everybody. All right.
But there's a lot of examples of that, and especially in sci-fi. Like if I brought up Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and like while I enjoyed the movie, it's a nice love letter to the book. It's nowhere near what the book was. And same thing with like Ready Player One. If you read Ready Player One and then watched the movie, like it didn't even touch what the book did. Whereas in this case, I thought it was pretty on par.
I can tell you, Ready Player One hated the movie.
Have you ever read the book?
I've never read the book. I've heard it's pretty good, but
It's fantastic.
after that movie, I I just
Oh,
can't.
it was nostalgia porn for me, so I like that movie, but
It was
I wouldn't.
nostalgia, sure.
I don't
but
know if I would want to read the book because I was having such a good time with the visuals, seeing all the pop culture and nostalgia references. But I mean, I'm not a huge book guy, so
Right.
that's just how I work.
So, I mean, what that book does is that whole nostalgia porn thing, it takes it to a whole nother level. And that's got everything to do, I would imagine, with licensing.
Oh, I'm
because
sure. Oh,
there's
yeah, I guess.
so much of it in the book, and that's the fun of it.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Where the movie just kind of came out as like a modern day Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, really.
One example, a book example I like to use is early Harry Potter. I did read those books. My sister sent them to me because she and her husband were reading them to their kids, at night, and they were enjoying it themselves. They're like, "No, you got to check this out." I was like, "Well, I'm not reading a kid's book." They're like, "No, check this out." The first two books, when you watch the movies, there's one or two things that are missing, but it's just like the other Quidditch match. And that's, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like we don't
right.
need
Don't
two
need
of
another
them.
Quidditch
We
match.
we don't need another. Right. So that gets cut out of the first one. But other than that, it's a note for note translation, but smaller book. As the books get bigger, whole storylines are just being lopped to the floor. So I think and of course, Lord of the Rings taught us like just how much trimming they have to do the longer the book is. So I don't know how big this book is that they're cutting from, but it's
one of my favorite things about Lord of the Rings, seeing it in the theater, was the second movie, watching the people who was unfamiliar with the source material and like them getting mad that it just ends with them like still on their walk. And it's like, well, yeah, if you don't know this story, this movie's really just a big long walk.
Yeah. Yeah. And 9 dudes go for a long walk to wreck some jewelry. Yeah.
I've seen the last Lord of the Rings movie, and I'm still waiting for it to end. The one that had like eight endings.
It's it's still
going?
playing.
It's still playing. Okay.
They're on the 5th or 6th ending by now. Is that right? Yeah. They introduced new characters just to end at the end. It's just
yeah. For my thoughts in the movie, I'm gonna be the contrarian. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the movie. Because I really enjoyed The Martian. And so when I saw the trailer for Project Hail Mary and I saw one particular aspect of it, I went, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to like that. Because I really liked the realism in, quote unquote, I guess, in The Martian.
Yeah.
With all the science and the logistics like you were talking about.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, Alien.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to like that. Turns out, loved it. That's the part of the movie I loved the most. But there's a really big part of this movie that I did not enjoy. And I thought, this movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes. It is a sit.
It is a sit. Yeah.
And it could have been cut down to probably a tight 90.
Really? I thought it flew by.
But I'm interested to know if the other parts, because I'm interested in how the book tells the story. But this also probably for me has to, because I watched 2 movies in the same day.
Me too.
3 hours apart. And I was very tired by the time I got to Project Hail Mary. So I'm wondering if that has any effect. I'm going to have to watch it again when it comes out for rent.
On streaming somewhere.
Yeah, on streaming. There you go. That works.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to kind of reserve judgment, but I have questions and thoughts, and we'll go from there. But I don't think we need to go through it because this, like I said, this movie's made so much. I think everybody that's going to see it is going to see it or has seen it.
And anyone listening to this show should have already seen it. Otherwise, we are going to start spoiling stuff. So with that being said, shall we dive in to spoiler territory? Yes.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been warned. Spoilers abound. All right.
Now, the first thing I want to talk about, Gaspar, you said there's a lot more of them learning each other's language, which gets me to my first magic beat of the movie itself, and that was the fact that Rocky the alien, which is a rock, seems a rock-like creature, seems to understand English.
So,
and then it's much about Ryan Gosling learning his language through what I can only assume to be an AI-driven program.
Right. So
Kind of.
what they do a little bit better in the book to explain that is, so he's using this laptop. He recognizes that Rocky is speaking in these musical tones. And they do get to that in the movie. You do see that, like, when he's talking, it sounds like he's playing.
It's a trill. It's like a light trilling. Yeah. And
it's a lot of charades. It starts off with like the very basic, and they show you that, where he shows you like a figure of him, and he realizes that's what he's talking about. So he starts to record those sounds and then give them names and then play them back to him. So he gives him his English word for this melody. And that back and forth happens and over a large portion of the book.
And they did that in the movie too. It wasn't really AI driven. It really was Ryland Grace, Gosling's character, saying, "Oh, I don't know that one," and then they figure it out, and then he's typing. He's literally putting in brackets what the word is every time he learns a new one, and then the computer can then link that sound to that word, and he could,
Right. And that ends up like making a lot more of the funnier parts of the book, where like you see it a little bit when he says "fist my bump," where he's not getting the syntax down because we're just doing one word at a time, and he's trying to put it together probably in the way his language would format, and it just doesn't work. And so you get these hysterical like interpretations, but they don't dive into as many in the movie, unfortunately.
And I get that that's timing, but I think I'm just watching the movie. I'm like, well, that was too easy. It almost seemed too easy.
Right.
And I knew that this was a book, and I realized that I probably went into it, and I know that they have to cut something down. So I was willing to forgive that.
Right.
What I wanted to see, to Long Derek's point, because you're right, that is one of the magic beans I thought coming out of this was like, oh, Rocky's just really. Now, I mean, granted, they are a sound-based.
No pun intended.
Oh no, pun intended. They are sound-based organisms as well as far as communication goes, right? Like the visual spectrum is totally based on sound for them. So picking up a language, maybe there's some advantage to that. Whereas we can see the light spectrum, right? And that was a disadvantage for their species, that they had a much broader sense probably of the sound spectrum. So picking up audio cues from tone of voice and stuff like that, I was giving that maybe there was an advantage there, but I could have used some sort of calendar thing. Right. How long was he there?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see X's on the walls or a calendar or some sort of time lapse to say, okay, they've been at it for 6 months and now they can finally talk, or something like that, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever that was in the book, to kind of visually give us a short version of what happened in the book. Like, how long was it before they were able to converse in the book? Do they even say?
It's like
I don't think they do, but
they just get a couple words a day, really, and then it takes them to get.
It stretches over so much of the story that it's kind of just ongoing.
Yeah.
Well, therein lies the other part, is that we're doing it like I'm getting the time jumps, but then what was day one for him? Right, when he was, when he wakes up and he's puking and everything, and he doesn't know where he could barely remember stuff. How long from there till the end of the movie?
In the book, that where he doesn't have his memory for, I think it's almost weeks, isn't it, Gaspar? He doesn't have. In the movie, it went really quick. It was just the first couple scenes where he doesn't have his memory. In the book, it went on for chapters and chapters. That's something they had to speed up for the movie.
And he gets it in pieces over time too.
Yeah, I got that sense though. He had his whiteboard. And he's like, "Who's Carl?" And he and beside it, his name is like Fuzzy, right? He was.
Yeah.
Right.
He's still trying to piece stuff together. But I mean, what time does it take place from when he wakes up in space to the end of the movie? What is that gap? It's got to be years at this point, right?
Years, I think it is.
It's considerable. I don't know if they give you
no, and that's kind of what I was maybe I was missing for at least the language part. Anyway, to finish that up, that's something I could have used. So that way, at least we know a shortcut to say it wasn't that easy. But they didn't give it to us. So.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing I think that the movie doesn't show as well as the book is, one, Rocky is a lot smarter than Ryan Gosling, but in different ways. And Ryan Gosling's a lot more scientific than they kind of make him a little bit bumbling in the movie, which I get why, because it lends to the comedy and it kind of moves the story along a little bit. But he's a scientist in the book, and he's a scientist that became a teacher, but he's applying all of the science as he goes. And they don't really, they kind of do it in shorthand, I think, in the movie.
Well, that was another one of my sticking points, was how this microbiologist is all of a sudden kind of an engineer as well. The way he's rewiring that place. Maybe he's just a really smart guy and was figuring it out. Maybe there's some undergrad training that we don't know about, but it would be nice if it was like, oh, he also has a degree in electrical engineering or something. But
so I think in the book, the way they handle it is he kind of is thinking his way through it. And so because you get to hear the thoughts in his head in the book, it kind of walks you through it. And then he also relies a lot on Rocky, who is an engineer.
Yeah.
So once they make that connection, then you're getting a lot from Rocky, and they're brainstorming together.
Yeah. In the book, they made it clear that Rocky could basically make anything. And they kind of showed it in the movie where he just made everything. Yeah. They needed. Yeah.
That I got that Rocky was basically, I got the fact that Rocky was smarter than Ryan Gosling.
I think they had to dumb him down because it was Ryan Gosling. They're like, La La Land, Barbie, Ken's Barbie. This guy can't be a scientist. Yeah.
So one of the things about Ryan Gosling taking that role, like, I thought he did very well. I enjoyed him. I thought he did a good job with the character. But you know how, like, when you have that image of somebody in your head as like who the character is, like, for me, I was more along the lines of Breaking Bad season 1 when he's like the kind of goofy school teacher. Like, that's
Walt.
who I was. Yeah. That's who I was kind of imagining. So when you see Ryan Gosling, you're like, well, he's kind of young. You know?
Oh yeah.
I really felt that's Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling did well.
Yeah.
Now I don't think he's Oscar good. You know what I mean? I don't think like he's breaking any new grounds or anything like that. But I could tell that this was a triple rather than a home run. I don't think he was the perfect choice for the role.
Okay.
I don't know. I got that feeling like he was. I don't know. Ryan Gosling's weird to me because
Yeah, they should have got Matt Damon.
Well, see, and as I read the book, I was thinking Matt Damon because I had seen Martian the movie at that point. So I was imagining, and he kind of acts a little bit like the Matt Damon because they're the same writer on both. But like I said, I'm a dude, so I never saw La La Land, and I never saw Ken Barbie and Ken. But so I was kind of new to Ryan Gosling here, and I was really impressed. I thought, he took it in a different direction than Matt Damon, and just like the two of them are different people, they both put them so much of themselves into the both characters that I enjoyed both of them a lot.
both incredibly good-looking scientists.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, and he's single. Oh no, the handsomest man on the planet is single. Let's all feel bad for him, boys and girls.
He wore dorky glasses, and he kept looking over his dorky glasses the whole movie. Come on, guys, he wasn't that good.
Oh yeah. Well, that's movie law. If you wear glasses, oh God,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm surprised the lady didn't, that his handler, Eva didn't start barfing every time she walked in the room.
Now she's someone I thought they nailed that character 100%.
She was
like, that's exactly what I was picturing.
Great character.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah, she was cold as ice.
Yeah, that's the character in the book.
Yeah, but she had to be, right? Like,
she had to
be. Yeah, right. Yeah. That I kind of like that doesn't come out until a bit later. I thought it's not that she's softening. It's like, no, we just get to see a bit more of, in her private moment, she's vulnerable, and in front of everyone else, she can't be, right? So, yeah, interesting character, that one. And let's give it up for my favorite one, Carl. I love Carl.
Yeah,
Carl?
He was a non-book character too. He was. I really enjoyed him. Yeah.
The guy who was watching out for him went shopping, went to Home Depot with him, and
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They became kind of chummy.
He wasn't in the book.
I don't know that they named him Carl in the book. There was that type of character around.
Yeah. He was
kind of his day-to-day handler guard, whatever.
Yeah, I think he was a lot bigger in the movie than he was in the book. Like, wasn't.
No, that
Right.
that worked. That guy, I mean,
I thought he was
you
great,
would
yeah.
expect that. Yeah, it's like, no. We only need this one big guy to watch the little guy. So
Yeah.
he ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. You don't need too big of a guy to handle Ryan
yeah.
Gosling.
My favorite line is like,
Gosling.
he's like, do we have he's like, Carl, do we have an expense account? And he's like, no. He's like, but I do. And then they go to Home Depot, and who buys candy at Home Depot? You know how dated that stuff's got to be.
But then
they finally get to freshen up
and she's like, do you have a membership? And he's like, no, I'm with the government. And she's like, which government? He's like, all of them.
Yeah, I like that.
worked for me. I thought that
See,
was
I
pretty
love
cool.
Carl. Carl is awesome.
Yeah,
but you're right. That Home Depot finally got to order more Skittles for the first time in like 10 years. That they're like, hey, oh my God, we got one. They ordered more Skittles. That's the head office guy. Yeah, no, I enjoyed him. And then. I mean, but yeah, like aside from Eva and Carl, like, yeah, we had our pilots and stuff, but I mean, they're just dead meats. They might as well have been dressed in red shirts.
Yeah,
Right,
and
so-
in the book, you got to know them better through flashbacks, so it was really sad when they died, because especially the Russian girl, they kept saying everything in the book, like, oh, why does she drink so much? And they're like, well, it's not easy being Russian. And then she listened to some weird music, and they're like, why is she like that? And they're like, it's not easy being Russian. I kind of like that joke in the book. They kept saying that. But,
Yeah. They
It's
also
weird.
spend
I know her from At Midnight.
Okay.
She's a comedian
Okay.
who appeared on At Midnight with Chris Hardwick.
Oh,
I know her
That's
from
where I
there.
recognize her from.
Yeah, Melania or Milana Van Trump. I'm not, that's totally butchering that one, but
Like, she's done voices on like Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
She has that to her name. Like she's kind of a bit of a voice actor, actually.
One of the other parts of the book that you don't get in the movie is the other scientists that are kind of working on this project together before he ever takes off from Earth. They are all characters, tertiary characters, but they're there and they do add a lot to the story. But again, I think timing would have taken a lot of time to get through them, but it does what it doesn't do in the movie that it does in the book is like you care about the people who blow up in the explosion.
Yeah, in the
Whereas-
movie, you're just like,
In the movie, you're just like something exploded.
what did
The
you
red
guys think of the
shirts, yeah.
explosion? What did you guys think of that? Because it kind of just came out of nowhere in the book or in the movie.
well, this gets to my huge sticking point in the movie, which it's starting to make sense now because, is the movie told in the same way where it flashes back and then you get a little
Yep.
bit more and you get a little
It
bit more
does,
and you get
yeah.
a little bit
Yep.
more? Because I was sitting there in the theater and I'm watching this movie and I'm like, okay, so, and it ends up just being, from where I was sitting, the story of how he gets put on the mission because he's
Right.
not originally scheduled to be on the mission. And I'm like, okay. But from the first minute of the movie, I know he goes into space.
Right.
I don't need the background story about him going into space. I'll tell you, all of the flashbacks bored the hell out of me. I was so bored with that whole backstory. I didn't care about Eva.
Okay.
Like, okay, so she's all right. She's the badass leader of the group. I get the character and I get what she was doing. I don't. Why we needed a 7-minute fucking karaoke scene?
It humanizes her.
I don't care. Didn't care.
Right.
I didn't care.
I don't even think that's in the book. Is that? Do you
No,
remember that
wasn't
being in the book
at all? No.
Yeah, it's just it's a mechanic to try to humanize her because she does such a great job of being a robot.
That's okay. I was okay with the robot. It makes sense for her to be that robot. She has to be objective.
She's making the hard
in order
decisions
to save
yeah.
the world. Exactly.
Yeah, she's making
Right.
the
So
hard
that made
calls.
total sense to me. So her softening her up, I didn't care.
Yeah, I gotta say, Derek, sorry if I may, just to agree with you, at least somewhat. The one that did get me is like the one flashback scene that they needed was basically him getting tackled, like him literally trying to run away from this mission.
Right.
And because then it does inform how he has to start being brave because there's no one else around to do it. And it started with the challenge of to be brave and volunteer to get in the seat and go to.
Well, the whole thing with
just
that
they
is later
force
on.
him.
Yeah.
later on, they come to him in the room and they're like, okay, well, we want to put you in space. You have 3 hours to decide. And I'm like, well, obviously he decides, or that decision gets made for him, either or, because I kind of saw that one coming.
Right.
And I was like, obviously he goes because I've been watching him in space.
Yeah.
So, like, the whole time, I was like, okay. Plus, that part of the scene isn't until closer to the end of the movie. And there's the scene where they tell him, yeah, we're asking you to be the one to go into space. I saw that in the trailer.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
I was already, I'm like, I know he's going to space. Clearly he's going to space.
Right.
So that's the problem with me. If you were to cut out all of that, with the exception of maybe like the explanation of the astrophage and, all the setup and stuff, great. Plus this movie gets a lot fucking shorter.
So I wonder how much of that is like, they do have to spend a lot of time in the book explaining that not everybody can take this trip, right? Because they're putting you in a coma and not everyone's going to survive this coma. And it comes down to a gene type, which they do explain it. They say it in the movie, but it's literally just done in dialogue.
I missed that. It was very
I
quick.
missed that completely.
Yeah.
And it's in that moment where they come to him and like, well, you have to go. And then he comes to find out that he carries this gene. And they have that scene in the movie, but there's so much more before it that, it's definitely done, but it's done in dialogue. It's
one line.
It's
Yeah.
not
It's like
shown
one
to
really
you,
quick line. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we have an Eastern European German lady explaining it, so maybe that's
yeah.
And no offense to anyone, I just maybe got lost in her accent or something. I don't know, or it was said too quickly, or
right.
Like she, for all I know, she was talking about it just before the big explosion, so I might have just forgot because holy smoke, big bang. So,
well, that's the thing. You brought up the big explosion. I had to piece it together because they dropped the line earlier that this astrophage that they're working with is very volatile.
Right.
And a small bit of it can blow up, a huge city block. And then all of a sudden this explosion goes off and I'm like, but they don't explain what happened. And I was left to put it together myself. Like, they were probably working with the astrophage. I think they do drop a line, but it's very quick.
They were building the ship's engines is what they were doing.
Okay.
They
I
mixed
didn't
up
realize that's what it was.
They mixed up the measurements with
right.
kilograms and milligrams.
Yeah, they asked for a micro. They explained it. They asked for a microgram, and they got a milligram. So they got 1,000 times more than what they were trying to.
Yeah.
Than what they were calculating all of their measurements for. So yes, overload and that part I heard.
Also, I had a question. About that. So they use this microphage.
Astrophage.
Sorry?
Astrophage.
Sorry. Early on in the movie, he discovers how to replicate it and how to make more and how to make more and make lots and lots and lots of it. Yet they say, well, we can only send you with enough to get you to the target sun, the other star that we're trying to get to. Like, but you know how to replicate it. If you know how to replicate it, why can't you make enough to come back? Why is this a suicide mission?
Because they don't have the room basically to do that on the ship. Like they go into like it needs to travel between these two sources, and it's that travel that's making it replicate.
Right.
So and I believe they talk about how on Rocky's ship that's exactly what they're doing. It's like infinite fuel for him.
Yeah.
But they just don't have that technology to that point on the Earth ship.
I don't know. I'm still with Derek on this a little bit, just because like when there comes a point where he's like, well, I need 2,000 kilograms. So basically a metric ton of it. A net ton. And then Rocky's like, oh, I can give you that. Right. So if he already had it, then they got to put it somewhere. But why couldn't he make it and put it somewhere? You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't he make his own 2 tons or his own ton of it?
Right.
Or, well, I mean, to be fair, you could probably
make
have
it more on Earth and just give him another tank. You know what I mean? Like if you have a tank that's going to get you to the star, make a second tank. That's the one that gets you back. Right?
Well, you can always feed it into the engine too, right? From the incubator to the engine, and then now you've got a constant flow here. It's just incubating and burning out as it goes, and then they can.
I think it keeps recycling, but I think there's some gets lost, and it's not 100%.
I'm sure there's some degradation.
Yeah. Well, these are organisms, so they have a lifespan, so they will die.
Yeah.
So they need more of them, but it's like it's basically like if you could have a carton but just have infinite horses.
Right.
Why wouldn't you just do that? No offense to horses. I like horses. I don't want to see them die. I'm just saying, like, kind of constant propulsion where you just breed some things and they propel your ship. I mean, it sounds dreamy almost. Like,
in fairness, they explain it in the book. I'm not remembering why.
Probably better than here. I think there must be. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys. You guys didn't read the book. What did you think of the way the two ships looked? What did that do? Did that do anything for you?
I liked how the two ships looked. I liked how there was our ship, which needs to be basically built in our style, and then there's his, which is more sound based.
I like the way theirs looked. It was cool.
Yeah, I thought that everything that happens in space between him and Rocky, loved it. That was the movie to me. If I could take this movie and cut out a whole bunch of the nonsense before and cut it down to like a tight 2 hours, maybe 90 minutes, this would be a great fucking movie. Like I said, maybe I have to watch a second time. I was tired. So, but like the relationship between Ryan and Rocky was what really got to me. Like that, I didn't cry. But that was probably because that emotion was interrupted by the backstory for me.
Right.
I heard a lot of people in my theater, so I know it worked. We'll get to the ending, but
yes.
So I think because Rocky he wasn't CGI. He was like a puppet for the most part. So they were actually interacting with each other.
Thank you.
I think I never felt the CGI in this movie. Like, I'm getting so sick of CGI, and I never felt it. I never saw it in this movie. I just saw it. I just was watching it like it was real life almost.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah. So that was, I think, the best part of the movie.
That's why everyone loves Rocky so much, because he was real in a lot of the movie.
It's the same way, Grogu is charming. Yoda was charming back in the day because it was a physical, Mark Hamill was acting opposite a puppet with Frank Oz there and just doing, and it was, this is reminiscent of that, right? Where it's it occupies a real space. You don't have to worry about cutting out maybe cutting out the strings, but not the lines around it. And
apparently he's a hand puppet. He's just
to an extent. I would imagine there's probably a few different versions of Rocky, depending on the scene. But one of the things that they do so well with him is, I think, because he's not a Henson puppet, but it's performed in the Henson style, in that James Ortiz, who's the voice of Rocky, is also the puppeteer. And that's a school of thought that was very important to Jim Henson, was that you should be the voice of the character.
Well, going back to Frank Oz in Empire Strikes Back, right? He was doing both. So he imbued this personality, or the personality, into the puppet, the same as they did with Rocky. So I love that. Right. Yeah, it's that OG school of thinking for sure. It was, you know what? I didn't know it was a puppet. I thought it was some of the best CGI I had ever seen.
I didn't know it was a puppet either. I assumed it was CGI.
Yeah, I was like, dang, this is...
I found that out afterwards, and I was
really So his little rollerball, was that real too?
Yeah, so he actually builds a whole, like, kind of habit trail in his ship, because they do talk about how Rocky can't be in his atmosphere and he can't be in Rocky's atmosphere, so they have to find a way to kind of coexist, to work together. And so he builds this whole thing.
Yeah, I think, and then I thought in the book, I mean, in this, he had a hamster ball he rolled around in. I thought in the book he made like hamster tubes everywhere.
Well, he's in the ball, and then there's tubes. Yeah, they just don't show you him constructing all of the tubes and stuff.
Yeah,
I think the rollerball was effective enough. Like, it really just showed that he was limited, but yet free at the same time. And then the version he makes for for Gosling is
It's like a suit.
it is. It's like glass Iron Man. It's like shit. Yeah, shit.
But you know what, though? That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Like, from his point of view, that's good enough.
That's how it's done.
But obviously, it doesn't fully work.
No. And how amazing that they got so much personality out of Rocky. Like, you just felt like it was a character. And like, when you look at Rocky, he doesn't look like much. Like, he literally, right, exactly, no face.
And
that's
so
huge.
You're right. It's amazing. That's huge. Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, the movie doesn't work. I mean, the movie's done.
It falls completely on its face.
Yeah. Exactly. It lived and died by that puppet for sure. Otherwise, it would. Yeah, exactly. Now, is this version of Rocky, when you first saw it, whether it was on the trailer or whatever, did the description in the books line up well enough for you?
For me, pretty much. Yeah, I think so. I thought he was more bulkier in the book, maybe, but I don't know why I thought that. But yeah,
I thought it did. I do think in the book they describe more of like a shell type feature to his main body.
I was thinking of like a tortoise shell. Yeah.
But I will say, when I first saw the coming attractions to the movie, like, and they show you like just the slightest glimpse of Rocky, I'm like, don't show him. That's gonna ruin everything. Don't show him.
I saw the same thing.
I was a little worried about it, but I thought they pulled it off.
And that's exactly what I thought. Like when I saw, oh no, alien.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh no. I'm like, this is a jump. Jesus, what's wrong with me? This is a shark jumping moment, and I'm just like, oh no. Because I'm so used to The Martian, and The Martian was so, I'm going to say realistic, but I mean, at least it all made sense, especially to a layperson, as I point to myself. You know what I mean? I'm not a scientist. I'm not a botanist. But at least everything was explained well enough that, yeah, there's some fantastical, obviously, they have a ship that can go to Mars and back. But it takes 600 days, and they're going to last, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah. And like in this movie, them putting them in a coma and putting them off to the thing. Yeah. Okay. It's not a magic bean, because you have to buy into that in order to get the premise. You know what I mean? So that's not a magic bean at all, but
medically induce a coma for years.
Well, yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys a question. Who is and I could ask the same question on The Martian. Who's the antagonist in this movie?
Space.
That's my answer. I think because space can kill you in a second, and it won't even give a shit.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say that the astrophage.
I guess in this case they really do have a villain, which is the thing that's killing the sun.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The Martian, I guess more so, it was just space.
They can kill you in a second.
Breaching that or passing through, getting through that gap from Mars to Earth. There's a whole lot of nothing. That's the enemy, is trying to get from here to there.
In The Martian, it was also Mars itself, right?
Just the conditions, because
just having to live on.
If you get a little hole in your suit, you're dead. Yeah.
Right. So similar in this. I mean, there's a lot of obstacles they have to overcome, and they're environmental more than anything else.
They have the gravity scene, as I like to call it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I will say in Project Hail Mary, I do think it was a wink and a nod to The Martian. You remember at the end of The Martian when he's flying up to meet up with the rescue ship. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to go Iron Man. I want to do Iron Man. Screw it, I'm doing Iron Man." And then I noticed that the exosuit for Ryan Gosling is red and yellow.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
okay,
that's probably a nod because it looks like an Iron Man suit.
It could be, yeah. If it was made of
just
of
enough
metal.
to avoid copyright.
Did you get?
There's a few marks of armor that have a similar style in the comic books. You can see just the more classic eye slit helmet, but other than that, everything it looks a lot like an Iron Man suit. Good call.
Yeah. I saw I saw a lot of other movies. Like I said, like the beginning when they die in their comas, the first 6 minutes of the 1968 Planet of the Apes, they're all going up in hibernation or comas, whatever you call. And then when he wakes up, the two of them have cracked. Like the glass thing is cracked, and they have gray hair and their skin's all wrinkled. You can tell they died years ago or whatever. So and then what did you guys think about did you notice the Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Oh,
which
sure.
I was really surprised to see. Yeah.
Remind me? I saw this over a week ago. So
the music when he
Yeah,
taps,
he
dun,
taps.
dun, dun, dun. Remember?
Yeah, he
okay.
does the one first contact thing he would have seen outside
Yeah,
of Star Trek was just well, once he hears Rocky singing, then he's dun 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 dun. Yeah, he does the little tone.
Right.
Oh, missed that. Okay.
That's how they start the call and answer with the music, and that's how the language begins.
That would I would have liked to have seen more of that, to be very honest with you. I
Right.
would have liked to, because
Read the
that
book.
was really interesting to me. I know. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to get the audiobook.
So here's
If I didn't have so many fucking podcasts to listen to.
it is a problem. That is a problem. I can relate.
You know?
I've been speaking of problems. I've been thinking about this problem that Derek has had with the whole Earth stuff, and I get it because it really does take the tension down. Like I said, the only scene that really got to me was not expecting the desperation of not wanting to do it. I could have seen it going either way, where he finally has that hero moment and she talks him into doing it voluntarily. But the fact that he does get chased by MPs, knocked down, dragged by.
I thought that was kind of goofy. Like when he and he acts like a guy in a body cam video, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He tries to get away.
Yeah, he goes on an episode
like-
of Cops. Yeah.
I was like, I already know that he goes to space, so this is kind of goofy to me. But
But it's making the point that he's the unwilling hero.
I completely
'Cause,
get that.
yeah,
I completely get that.
Every hero at first has to refuse the call to action, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
is he really refusing it?" I thought they went a little heavy-handed on it too. I goes, "Oh my god, he really refused
Yeah.
the call to action. He didn't even go
this
willingly."
would be. This is Skywalker just running and screaming out of Ben's hut. You know, no, I'm not going to go fight the rebellion.
Yeah,
Like,
Come on, guys,
like,
we're going.
Like, it's literally not like two MPs dragging him in a suit and throwing him into the capsule. But I mean,
Right.
It might as well have, because there's Carl right there to friggin' help with the muscle.
Or they
They inject the shot,
They put him into the coma, and that's it. But the thing is,
I guess they do that.
even if you could, so for me, that moment was just the performance. It was Gosling switching from the kind of goofy, like climbing the walls to try and get out, to just the screaming no, like that transition from kind of humorous to serious. I'm just embedding myself in that moment as a podcaster, I guess, and just kind of looking at the performance, because Derek's right. I know the end, and that's and it's like, oh, okay, they had to drag him kicking and screaming. If they had switched it, if they'd told it linearly, there's still a problem.
Right.
Books don't have YouTube trailers.
Right.
So you could tell the story in a linear fashion, but because of trailers, we know he goes to space. That would have ruined it anyway.
That's a whole other problem with the trailers. I think trailers give away way too much.
It would have to be a very concise, only on Earth. Like, here's the characters, here's the problem. Come see the movie to figure it out, to find out what happens next.
Yeah, I believe that nothing from the last third of the movie should ever be in a trailer.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah. It's crazy how much they.
I don't work in Hollywood, so I don't get to make that decision.
So I wanted to add another question for you, all you guys. So in the beginning of the movie, it starts out very slapsticky when he's coming out of the coma and he doesn't know where he's at, and then he's got the long hair and the long beard. Do you think he was supposed to look like Jesus Christ, or was he supposed to look like prehistoric man there, or do you think that was just the show of passage of time? I couldn't figure out what was going on, but I kind of enjoyed
it. Take him to get there.
It was years, like
it's
11 years, maybe.
Well, the trip. Well, I thought the trip back was going to be 4 years.
Yeah, in the book they made it sound like it was 30 years, because he's like, "Oh, those kids are 30. My students are 30 years older, and they've grown up in a horrible world the whole time."
Yeah, actually, you're right. Come to think about it, like they part of the
reason, it can't
be
30 years, because that's how long the sun was going to take to die.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, 30 years is our ticking clock.
I thought they said something about 8 years getting there or something, because
I thought it was like
or
somewhere in the window of
years.
5 to 10 years.
Was it 9 light years? And they were going
whole mission was
they were
supposed
going
to
almost light speed, and there was 9 light years. Yeah,
9 or 11,
something like that.
But if they're going at the speed of light, I want to see them turn on the headlights and see if they work.
Yeah,
they do, but only if you're looking from behind. I don't know how. That's
the warp speed effect.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. I think with E equals MC squared, they did work.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to do the calculations in my head.
It's going to melt that brain. All right, let's a little bit. Yeah.
I just got up, right?
Fair enough. Yeah. He hasn't had his Wheaties yet.
Yeah. I haven't. Go ahead.
So one of the things I wanted to bring up was when I first started talking to Mark about this movie, like I had made a pretty sweeping statement. I said this was possibly going to be this generation's E.T., which I don't think it hit that mark, unfortunately, but I thought it had the potential. And part of what I based it on, besides this being such an awesome story, is when was the last time we saw the alien isn't the thing attacking and is the bad guy and is the adversary that we have to overcome? Like, I don't think there's many stories between this and E.T. where that takes place.
Yeah, because Elf was always trying to eat the cat, so he was a bad guy.
Grogu keeps eating local flora and fauna, so he's chewing on
that's
frogs.
Not human, though. No, it's a good point. I'm sure that there is something that I'm just not aware of or I can't think of.
I'm gonna throw a deep cut in here.
Goes to your point.
Yeah, that the Enemy Mine.
Enemy Mine.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't remembered that one.
Yeah, Earth versus aliens in a war, and then there's two soldiers, one from each side, that gets stuck kind of behind, like just stranded.
Okay, I remember
and
that
then
now.
Yeah.
It's 1985.
Something. Yeah, it's an old movie, but it's a similar idea about the two. They got to learn to coexist to get out of the situation. And,
right.
But 1985. When was the last time the alien wasn't?
Is this a good movie, Mark? Or?
I think Louis Gossett Jr. plays the alien. Remember?
Dennis Quaid, Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, kind of looks like a gray Klingon, kind of. A little bit.
Yeah, outside of stuff like Star Trek or Star Wars, where there's aliens all over the place and some are friendly and some aren't, I am hard pressed to think about that. Yeah, because the Alien franchise has been. Some of this is reminiscent of Alien, right? You got the coma. I know in one or two of the installments, like something goes wrong with somebody's tube. I think didn't we have James Franco?
Yeah,
or Dave, one of the Francos burning alive in one of them. It was James Franco. Yeah, have a cameo burning alive in the thing.
That was a great scene.
I think Alien had the best hibernation because you got to lay in a little circle with everyone, and not only that, but you could have your cat lay on your lap, and they would be just like you. They'd be fine, just like you.
Yeah, exactly. And no, boy, that's a good question. I gotta think of something.
To think about that.
Yeah.
Let's get to the end. Mm-hmm. I have questions.
Okay.
Does that ending match up with the book?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, that's one of the things I was really hoping they wouldn't cut out because.
I was hoping they would.
So I don't know. Maybe it's not expressed as well as it is in the book, but so he has to make a decision. He knows that Rocky's on his way back to his planet. He comes to realize that there's this leak of the enemy of astrophage is this organism that eats astrophage, right? This is the solution that's going to save both planets.
Yeah.
And so they're taking this back to their respective planets to fix the problem of astrophage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do spend a little more time explaining that there's this leak and how he contains the leak and gets it all back under control, and then realizes, shit, this happened to Rocky. This is going to kill him and he'll never get back to his planet. And he makes the decision to, even though he has enough fuel now, because Rocky's given him the fuel to get back to Earth, he's going to sacrifice himself and go help his friend. And so then he almost dies in that, and they nurse him back to health on Rocky's planet, and he's got to make the decision of whether he wants to come back or not. And realizing that so much time has passed on Earth and he really doesn't have a home there, he decides to stay. Yeah, and that final scene is real. It's exactly as it is in the book.
He's teaching school.
Yeah.
But in the book, he's 54 years old, but he should be in his 70s, but because he gained time because he was traveling through space, but he's feeling really the atmosphere is getting to him, he's 54, but he has trouble like walking just because of the his joints. He has arthritis
Right.
just because there's so much pressure. And what'd you guys think of the? For some reason I keep talking about other movies, but that little biodome they made for him, I like how the ocean just hit this. Like it could have been like the Truman Show, where if he would have jumped in a boat, he would eventually hit the sky eventually because he just kept
right.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
I thought
that
it was
made
pretty cool.
sense to me.
And he was basically in a zoo. I thought he was zooming those kids, the classroom of kids, but I guess they had walked through like a kind of like the zoo. I don't know if you guys have that in your zoo, like where you can walk through a little plexiglass tube where you can go see the tiger and stuff. And but what the kids went through, like a little tube to go see him or whatever. So that wasn't a Zoom call. I thought it was a Zoom call, but it wasn't. Yeah.
No, I think they make that clear in the book too, where they're in their classroom and he's in this protected area and he's teaching them. He's chosen to stay and be a teacher, which is what he's always wanted to be, basically.
One of the things I liked was how the glass that they used, how imperfectly shaped it was, but was incredibly effective. Like it could hold back the vacuum of space because it's lined with metal braces and supports. That was like almost a visual language in and of itself, because it represented there is still a barrier between the humans and the Iridians, and there always will be. But how they communicate and the compromises they make is kind of how they get along and how they coexist, right? So Rocky's walking on the beach; it's full of Earth atmosphere, so he's got to be in his suit.
Right.
And then, of course, Ryan Gosling can't go into the classroom with the kids. He's got to be behind that barrier. So there always is that kind of thing. But throughout the movie, even you can say, okay, this is Rocky's part of the ship now because it has the glass partitions.
Right.
And even when they hug, there's still that layer between them. And I thought it was brilliant to have it like that. They're like a sand rock based organism. So it's very neat that the various forms of sand and rock are used to make everything.
Right.
For the most part. Yeah. And I thought that was brilliant.
Just with that ending, I was kind of like, okay. They're sending them. They're each going home. They've said their goodbye. Okay, this movie's over. Oh no. Oh no, we're returning the king, or this Return of the King, are we? Okay. I'm like, now there has to be a problem. Okay, fine. I don't know. I guess by then I was kind of done. I needed to pee. It was 2 hours after this.
And they don't go into the drone story, because there's like a whole chapter on where the drones come from and how they name them after the Beatles. And
what did you guys think about all of a sudden the Beatles show up? Like, did that do anything for you? Or?
I mean, okay, you named 4 things after the Beatles.
Yeah,
I can see humans doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if it would have warranted a whole book chapter, but to be fair,
So
that sounds excessive to me. Actually,
that does sound excessive.
Like that would be a chapter to skip if it's me. I'm not really that.
In the body of the story, they're having to overcome the idea of like, all right, assuming that he gets to where he's got to get to, assuming he figures this out and comes up with something to defeat the astrophage, he's got to get it back to Earth to make a difference, right?
Yeah, and in the movie they make that clear.
How's he going to do that when he's not going to survive the trip back? And so they come up with, they track down this kid who's working on this drone technology, and that's how it kind of becomes a chapter. And it was actually a pretty good part of the story.
I think that's what there's 4 of them, because they just want like one of them has to make it, so they send 4.
Right, the redundancy.
Redundancy.
They quadruple their odds of one of them making home. So there's 4 identical or identically loaded out.
Yeah,
assuming 1 or 2 of them is going to hit something along the way and not make it. Yeah, but
that was a conceit of the movie that I was willing to give, much like traveling through space and making it to this star. You kind of have to buy into that in order for this story to work. So, and they did say that they're going to send it back, and that's how they're going to save Earth. So I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds
you
like
want to name them after Beatles. Fine.
Sure.
And I think that the point of that scene was that if they did not show those 4 drones coming out with the nameplates, that readers of the book would have been like, how dare you omit the drones?
And those who haven't read the book don't really care, honestly.
Exactly.
Like it's sort of kitschy. It's not, it could have been 4 of his ex-girlfriends. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it's
it could have been
Right.
could have been Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Bernice Beefcake, and Zeus. I don't know.
it could have been Sue Storm, Reed Richards, Ben
Yeah.
Grimm, and Johnny Storm. I don't care. You know, There's
Batman,
4
Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. you know.
yeah, exactly.
And that one blows up. But that one-
I did like
Makes
his
us blow
Superman reference where he's like, "Oh, I'm trapped." Like he's doing his Phantom Zone bit.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
let us out!" Like, yeah, that was fun. Oh, but yeah, good movie. I do agree, a little bit long, but at the same time, the Rocky and Ryan stuff. First of all, I mean, acting against a puppet for most of the movie, like bravo.
That's got to be tough.
That's and so obviously having someone there in at least in proximity where you can run the lines together in character, I think had to have been huge. Instead of like acting against a tennis ball and there's some PA off to the side. You know what I mean? Doing
Pulling their attention.
Yeah, trying to and what did you, is it my turn, my line now? Okay. You know, like I don't know how you would have done that.
I mean, you can just look back to the Jar Jar Binks scene where they always look like they're looking through him, or they never look like they're talking to him or looking at him. Yeah,
and that was the tennis ball. That was that
that was a tennis
stuff.
ball
Yeah,
they're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, but compare that again though to Mark Hamill and Yoda, right? Where he's looking at right in Yoda's eyes when he's talking to him, even though it's a puppet. He has to sell that, and I think Ryan Gosling does a great job too. Like you felt the hug.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
and Rocky didn't, but we felt the hug. You know?
In the case of Yoda, I mean, that's the magic of Henson. I mean, that's Frank Oz puppet. I mean,
right?
Have you ever like seen a Muppet in real life?
No.
So
no.
When my son was a little younger, we were at a minor league baseball game for the minor league version of the Mets. And so they had the Muppets there, and we found our way into the area of where they were hanging out, basically, because it was really supposed to only be on a screen. And so we got to see them. And so what you have is the puppeteers are all just laying on the floor, and they're working the puppets and talking to my son. Yeah. But as an adult, it's like you get sucked right in, and it's like you're talking to Fozzie Bear, you're talking to Kermit the Frog, and that is the magic of Henson puppetry. Is you forget there's a guy laying on the floor, even though he's right there for you to see it. It really is amazing. Yeah.
That's that, and they obviously did the same thing in the same tradition as Yoda, and just they're out of sight, and so we focus on the puppet, and the puppet becomes the thing. That being said, I would like one of the, the rejected Rocky voices, because we have a few of them, including IMDb credited Meryl Streep did lend her voice. She did the line.
Oh,
it wasn't AI generated, but
that's why
credited.
He said she can do anything. Okay, so that was kind of an inside joke. Okay,
yeah. But I think it would have been funny if one of the voices. What was the line he said? It was shoot. I forget what he says. What I don't know what it was, but it would have been like something. Oh, I know where I'm going with this. Oh, why do you gotta eat my name like that? You know what I mean? Like, hi, Kermit the Frog. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like if he had done if he had done a Muppet, like if one of the, if like, we got the science, waka waka. You know what I mean? Like if that had been just for a second, one of the rejected voices, maybe a James Earl Jones. I don't know.
God rest it's CNN.
Yeah, exactly. Disney owns his voice now. I know he's passed, but Disney did sign over the rights to his voice for that. So something, they could have had even more fun with that.
Disney, I don't think.
No, it wasn't. But they could have paid him a couple of bucks to.
Was this Amazon? Was this? Yeah,
I think it was Amazon. Actually. Yeah.
So Amazon's new acquisition, MGM Studios.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's an Amazon original.
I think I would have liked to seen this be an 8-part series. Really, I mean, as much as I love the movie, I think an 8-part series on Amazon would have been.
It would have been interesting to see it that way.
And maybe they'll still do that. Maybe they'll have like a team of Rockies and a team of humans meet up. But
Ugh,
Well,
There should not be a sequel to this.
no. How do you make a sequel to this?
yeah,
You
that's-
don't.
Well-
You just don't.
What happens every time in history when they bring in the predator to control something? The predator is always worse than what it's trying to control. So they brought in this predator to control the astrophage. But what's going to be the negative? Some negative could come from that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You thought the Earth was dying before. Now it's going to be super dead.
And maybe this doesn't need to be overthought that much.
Project Hail Mary 2, Astrophage Boogaloo, coming to theaters near you. Like it's.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, by the way, was he supposed to look like Jesus or 90s grunge band? You tell me. I don't know.
Yeah.
With the long
It's a
hair
little
and
bit
the-
like
yeah.
Nickelback. No, just kidding.
Yeah. He get the
Jesus or
toque on and
Nickelback.
everything. I was like, oh, that out goes the Jesus look. Now it's 90s grunge,
Yeah.
Look at this space photograph.
Yeah. I'm gonna get some astrophage. Yeah. I'm naming him Rocky.
So are you guys going to go read the book or listen to the book, you think?
No, wait for the movie.
Try
to.
to. I think I might try to. I'll get the audiobook.
I would
Sure.
recommend the audiobook because you get the benefit of that Rocky voice in the audiobook.
Is it the same dude? It's not the same dude.
No.
I don't think it's the same guy, but it's very well done. I'm a big fan of audiobooks.
This is my voice question. Like a different guy, different intonation.
Amaze.
Yeah. Even if I do, I'm still skipping the chapter on the drones. I'm sorry, book readers. That does not sound interesting.
I'm
The
skipping the
back-
karaoke chapter.
the backstory on the drones is not something I need. Like I get it. Drones are everywhere. If they were a new concept, oh my gosh, drones, what are those? But I have one. You know what I mean? Like they just have a much better one,
Right.
And they named
Does
it
yours
after
go to
Beatles.
space and back, though?
Yeah, but I'm not naming it after a Beatle. So, end of story. I don't need a chapter of a book to tell me that. Here I'm critiquing a book I've never read. I love it. I'm on the internet now. I can do that.
Troll Lord. All right. All right, well, let's get into our final thoughts and ratings. I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to see this movie again. Like I said, sometimes your feelings when you watch a movie can sway your opinion. I'm going to have to watch it again. As it stands currently, I'm going to go with 7 hyper-focused school children out of 10. Because they were just not letting him go at the beginning of the movie about, hey, death? Are we dying? And he's like, let's move on, okay?
I read on 4chan.
They're like, no. So, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to say, wow, I'm going to go like 9.5 out of 10. And don't ask me if I like this better than The Martian, because I love The Martian and I just can't really choose between the two. Yeah, I thought it was a really, like I said, I thought it was a good movie for being a movie. I guess you guys, it gets a little long at the end there. So at 240, I guess I'd like to see that more like 225 or somewhere around there. But yeah, so I think it was almost a perfect 10. I've actually seen it twice. So, and when it comes out to streaming, I'm guessing on Amazon, and I'm sure I'll see it again. So many times. So loved it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Gaspar?
I loved it, man. I again love the fact that they really did a good job of representing the book as a movie. That's so rare. It's hard to do. It's not a love letter to the book. It's the book. I mean, minus some of the pacing issues, but I did not find it to be too long. I thought the movie flew by. I would definitely watch this again, and I'm gonna give it 9 gerbil balls out of 10.
Nice.
Mark?
Well, I was coming in at about an 8, but to be honest, I mean, Derek, you did bring up some good points regarding the how unfortunately the flashbacks, while they're character building, it's sort of too late as far as the events of the story and where the tension is in solving the mystery of the astrophage, and so it's unfortunate but that did bring it down. I'm going to go with 7.5 uncontrollable Iridian children, Because those kids look, as much as the Earth kids were in control, those Iridian kids were out of control. So 7.5 of those little rock monsters out of 10.
Alrighty. Well, guys, let our listeners probably know you guys by now. Tell us what's going on. First off, what's coming up on the Hoodrat Recap? I just released a show the day that we recorded this, or the day before. About a show in Atlanta?
No, actually. So we interviewed a friend of ours from Atlanta.
Okay.
It's kind of a think piece on the dark humor behind the Hold Steady lyrics and how much they are like a Fargo, which I thought was a really interesting topic, and we had a lot of fun talking about it. We do have a couple of interesting things coming up. So next up, I think, what are we doing next?
Isn't it Tad?
Oh, the next one is before we do Tad, there's the Lanyards piece that's coming out, which is basically Lanyards is their fan club, and it's a discussion about ticket sales and how that works. Kevin really kind of delves a little deep into that. He's got that expertise because he works in that industry. And
oh yeah,
so that was an interesting one. And then we will be interviewing the guitarist from the Hold Steady who put out some solo work in the coming episode. So that'll be coming up soon.
Hey, that's great.
That's so cool that your favorite band actually will sit down and talk to you.
They're not that big.
I understand that, but still.
So if your listeners, the name of the group is the Hold Steady, and if you listeners are out there and like, I've never heard of them, that's you are correct. Most people have not heard of them. Yeah.
But Gaspar, what is it you always say about them?
What was that?
What is it you always say about them? Like part of the reason why, like you said it a couple of times since I've known you about this band. They are the best bar band.
In
the world,
land.
I believe.
In the land.
Yes. The best bar band. So you might not have heard of them. You might not.
Bar band in the land, man.
Nah.
You may not have heard of them, but if you ever get a chance to see them, apparently you should go.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience that you will not regret. I will say that for sure.
And on the 70s versus the 80s, Mike, what's coming up?
We got lots of good stuff coming. It was funny because we just did an episode on Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee, and then Chuck Norris passed away, and then Mark and Gaspar were gracious enough. We came on and did another Chuck Norris memorial podcast, and you can see the sound clips on YouTube. It's pretty good there, and we got some crazy stuff coming up. We got some dueling Bob Dylan songs and all kinds of stuff. In other words, I can't remember what we have coming up, but I know.
What a good problem to have. There's so much.
There's so much coming up. I just can't name any of it yet.
If only we had the editor of the show on the show that could tell us what's coming up.
The program director.
Yeah. Well, I listened to the Chuck Norris one, and I was laughing.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
All the way driving to work.
Yeah.
And I had to leave you to it because I'm just not a Chuck Norris guy. I told Mark. Mark says, "Oh, are you coming on the show?" I'm like, "Nah, this is your arena." Sorry.
The best part of that was doing the Chuck Norris jokes, though. Everyone's a Chuck
there was
Norris
some I'd never heard before.
guy.
It was great.
One or two I've heard before, but the rest of them were. I was doing that thing of half laughing, half going, ugh. Which is probably the best reaction to a Chuck Norris joke. So. Well, as for us, let's see what we got coming up on, or is it this week? Along with this film studies, we're going to have one coming out in a couple of days after this for Ready or Not, Here I Come, which is the sequel to, of course, Ready or Not from 2019.
If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Just watch the first one, see what you think.
Yep.
And then by then, the second one, or hit the theaters, or the second one will be out in streaming soon, I'm sure.
Yep. Just released this past Sunday was our review of House of Wax, starring Paris Hilton.
Mm-hmm. Well,
featuring Paris Hilton.
She was there. She was definitely there.
Starring Alicia Cuthbert, which
died.
Shocked both of us.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even know about that. Yeah,
didn't even know she was in it. And coming up next week is the one we talked about earlier, Blades, about a killer lawnmower that's haunting a golf course. So you can imagine the kind of fun we had with that.
You know what I wanted to mention before I forget? Did you see, as part of the promo to Project Hail Mary, they put up a whole, like, I guess it's like a video that you could watch online, and it's Rocky sleeping for like hours.
No
and
way.
like they said something like 70,000 people watched it to watch
Really?
Rocky sleep, which is insane because it doesn't do anything else.
They
It just
probably went
sleeps.
to sleep with Rocky sleeping. That's that's what I would do if I was going to put that on.
Billions of people watch soccer.
Don't worry, buddy. I'll watch you sleep. No, I won't.
There's-
You'll be asleep. You won't care. And get some solid rack while you're down.
Well, yeah, so that's always coming up on. We have some. Hopefully, I'm trying to get some special guests on for some upcoming Or Is It episodes, including you guys. I want to bring you guys back on.
Cool.
Um,
Maybe we'll
And-
pick the movies this time.
What did you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a funner movie. That Corvette. Well, it was kind of fun, but I thought it was going to be fun.
Corvette Summer was a fun watch.
Yeah.
I think we.
It was on my checklist.
I enjoyed the show. I thought it was hysterical.
I did. I thought it was
There you
funny. That was one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
So it helps if you've seen the
Yeah,
movie
which
that
I
we've
did,
watched.
yeah.
I know. Okay, well, that's going to about do it for Film Studies. Mike, Gaspar, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us, man. Always
Thanks,
a good
guys.
time.
Oh, this was a blast. Thank you.
Anytime, because like I said, we'll tell you our schedule if you've seen it. I'm sure, Gaspar, you'll be back on for He-Man, I assume.
I would love to.
Yes.
All right, there you go.
That is such a huge part of my childhood.
Me
I can't. I
too.
hope they do
Me
a
too.
great job with it.
After 97, boy. Woo-wee.
I used to have Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain.
Yeah, me too.
Jesus.
Me too.
Me 3.
Yep.
That microphone was the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The first
Didn't work.
microphone I ever
Didn't work.
used. Who knew where it was going to lead? Yeah.
that was just, had some of your best material back then too.
Yeah. Wasted in my parents' basement. Tila was impressed, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway.
Childhood, like, thank you for coming out. Try the veal. Tip the
Yeah. They want to hear from Snake Mountain. Ooh, you know, I got to do local jokes, you know.
A lot of crowd work. Yeah.
You're doing some crowd work.
What's the deal with Ram Man?
For a guy named Trapjaw, he flaps his gums a lot. Hey, you know, like.
All right. Well, Mark, thanks very much for coming out.
Always a pleasure.
And I'm Derek, guys. We'll see you in the next episode of Film Studies, coming soon.